Hey folks, high and low here. I'm doing the Budget Blade Bonanza Small Everyday Carry Edition. And basically, I have reviews of all these knives on my channel already, but what I kind of wanted to do was put them all together and stack them up against each other so that people could sort of get a comparison of the different types of knives, small everyday carry type knives, and in the budget category. And you can look at the knife dimensions and the specs all day long, but it's kind of nice to put them together and just be able to visually compare the different types of knives, the different blade shapes, and the different configurations that they're all available in. So I have these all sort of in my small everyday carry category, and we'll get down to the comparison. This is the Columbia River Knife and Tool Squid. This is the Sanrenmu 7056. This is the Sanrenmu 7010. This is the Harnds Black Knight. And this is the Enlan EM-01, your everyday Swiss Army knife. And then this is the Sanrenmu 4024. And I consider this a little bit more of a micro everyday carry. This is a really small little knife, but very well made. It's pretty sturdy, even for its size. It has, believe it or not, 2 bronze washers in it, and it's pretty well made. I mean, this is a dinner party knife. You want to have a knife, but you don't want anybody to see it, or you want to be as unobtrusive as possible. It's a cute little knife, but it is very sturdy and very well made. We'll put that one aside. So these knives are all roughly in the same category in terms of the materials they're made out of, and in terms of the price. The Columbia River Knife and Tool is a little bit closer to the $20 range, but I got this one on closeout deal, so it ended up being about $7. So if you figure out and get this on sale, these are all under $15 knives, with the exception of this one. But between $7 and $15 you can get any one of these knives, and they're all relatively made out of the same type of materials. It's all 8CR13 MOV, with the exception of the Harnds, which claims to be 8CR14 MOV, so 1 extra percentage point there. But other than that, they're all made out of roughly the same materials. They're all made in China. The Columbia River Knife and Tool is marketed under Columbia River Knife and Tool and sold in the US, but it is made in China. So these are all budget knives, and with the exception of this one, budget Chinese knives, that some of them are clones of something else, some of them are original designs. So just a quick comparison. The CRKT Squid, I really like this knife. This is the one I've ended up carrying the longest so far, and it's served me really well. Everything from cutting zip ties to just small line work, and it's maintained its edge for 2 months of pretty good service. A little frame lock knife, very handy, very comfortable to carry, very comfortable to hold. You can just about almost get all your fingers on there. The pinky kind of hangs out on the end there, so you put a little lanyard on it, but it's comfortable and it's very serviceable. It's got sort of a stout little blade, stubby little blade, so the blade configuration might be something that's important to you to consider. But very nice little carry knife. The Sanrenmu 7056, it's a clone of the Kershaw Cryo 2. Again, another little frame lock. It's a nice looking knife. It's got these sort of fake bronze standoffs, or fake brass standoffs, excuse me, and a fake brass thumb stud. This guy is the only one of the Chinese knives, is the only one I've really had a problem with. When it came from the factory, it was way off to the side in terms of blade centering, so I had to take it apart and fiddle with it to get it to be back sort of close to the center, and it's still not perfectly centered, but it's a good knife. And if you want, it comes in a bunch of different forms. It's got some silver form and a stone washed form, and then this black or gray, blacked out gray, which I do like. And the coating is held up well. And it's got an over travel bar, for these little frame locks. It's kind of a nice little knife. And very serviceable. The Sanrenmu 7010. Now this is sort of a very popular Chinese brand knife. We all know what it's a clone to, and you get a lot of knife. You get a lot of blade with this knife, and it's again $8, and I've been carrying this one too, and it's really serviceable. It's a very nice little frame lock knife, very sturdy, and no complaints there. It's a really nice option for everyday carry. This is one of the newer ones that I've gotten, the Harnds Black Knight, the 6013, and I do like it. I haven't been able to carry it much yet. I'm going to switch out the Cricket and use this one for a while and see how I like it, but I think I will like it. It's a little bit bulkier in terms of being a bit thicker, but it's got a real nice shape. It's a copy of the Kershaw Volt 2, so it's probably going to be a nice design to use. And this is the Enlan EM-01. Oh, sorry, by the way, this is the liner lock, and the Enlan is a liner lock as well. So anytime you get the scales on there, chances are it's going to be a liner lock. And this Enlan EM-01 is sort of the smaller sibling of the Enlan EL-01, and it's a very nice little knife. It's real comfortable. It's got a good handle on it, and you can get just about all your fingers on there. The lanyard hole looks a bit small. If you're going to use paracord, you might need to stuff it in there somehow, or take a strand or two out of the center of it. But these knives are all comparable. I think they're good buys. I think they're good quality knives for what they are, and they're going to be a good everyday carry option for whatever you need them to do on an everyday basis. And it really comes down to, I think, the preference of whether you're going to want a frame lock in here or a liner lock like this one. And I really like the liner locks or the frame locks. I'm not too put out by the liner locks on small everyday carry knives, because I really don't think they're going to be put through the type of abuse of a larger knife. So a liner lock isn't likely going to fail on you for a small everyday use knife like this. So a lot of it, I think, comes down to what kind of blade you want, and what kind of shape knife you want, and just about how small you want these knives. This guy has one bronze washer. The Sanrenmu 7010 and the 7056, they have both have bronze washers on each end, and these two have full Teflon. Believe it or not, this little guy has dual bronze washers, if you can believe that. So it's sort of an interesting little note on the tiny micro EDC. But again, looking at the knife specifications and all of the dimensions and everything, I don't think you get a real good feel for the knives in comparison to each other. So I just kind of wanted to put them all up here, have a little bit of fun, have some folks take a look at them, and then you can really get a comparison for the shape of the knife and get sort of a feel for the knife and whether that might be the one for you. And give one side, I'll flip the other side over, and you can take a look at comparison of the clips and pocket clips and all that stuff. But I think any of these would be a great everyday carry option. I've carried these three, and they've really been a pleasure to carry. They've done a real good job for me. I'm looking forward to starting to carry these two, and a lot of it depends on how small a knife you want and what kind of blade shape you want in terms of the materials and everything else. A lot of these, I think these knives are all pretty comparable, so it really boils down to what you're looking for in terms of blade shape and handle materials and stuff. So hope you enjoyed this review, and leave a comment if you want, and I appreciate you tuning in. Thank you very much.